your memory of...
Here comes the impeachment, folks.
Would have been much better on February 14th of 2022 when you were talking to Trooper Michael Proctor than it would be today, correct?
Correct.
This is what happens when you wake up every morning and it's the first thing you think about your crimes against society, your crimes against character.
She had some blood around her mouth, her neck area.
He knows it's coming. He knows there's a punch in the face on its way, and he doesn't want it, but he's gonna get it. He has no choice. He's a witness in a murder trial. And by the way, folks, don't forget that we're gonna continue this with the ARCA witness. We got Faller, and we have Jennifer McCabe coming up. So don't forget to subscribe, because you are gonna want to see this. Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Buckle Up, It's the Law. Folks, today we are going to be doing Jason Becker, Canton Fire Department, the lies and comparisons of his lies and machinations from 2024 in the trial of Karen Read, the very first one, to the retrial of Karen Read in Massachusetts in 2025, April. Folks, get ready, buckle up, and let's go.
I wanted to go back to one piece of testimony that you offered on direct examination, if I may.
Sure.
You had, in response to a question from the prosecutor about the medical history and your question to Ms. Reed about whether she had had any alcohol to drink. I believe your answer today was she denied having drank alcohol the night before?
At the time that she was, she could have drank, I don't know if she drank alcohol the night before, but at that time I asked if she had any drugs or alcohol, and she said no.
I'm sorry, if I just didn't hear
Yeah,
you.
you need to keep your voice up, sir. Speak directly into the microphone.
He can't even keep his
I
lies
asked her if
straight
she had any drugs
out of the
or
gate.
alcohol, and she said no.
Oh, if she had any drugs.
Well, she taken any drugs or alcohol, she said no.
Did you specify a time period?
I just assumed it'd be in the last few hours.
Assume?
Reason why
Wait
we
a
were
minute,
there.
you can't assume when you're doing an investigation. Oh, well, I mean, I just assumed. Have you taken any drugs or alcohol? Yeah, last month. Okay, let me write that down. Admitted to taking drugs and alcohol, period. Cops do this all the time to my clients. Trust me, I know this. I've seen this firsthand. Have you taken any drugs or alcohol in the last 3 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, 12 hours? You gotta specify. Otherwise, you leave the door open. Have you taken any drugs or alcohol? Yeah, last week has taken drugs and alcohol, period. They never write the last week part, ever.
Oh, I see. Okay. With regard to your intent and your state of mind when you were asking that question, you were asking, had you taken any drugs or alcohol within the last few hours? That's what you meant to ask? What did you specifically ask?
So when I ask a patient if any drugs or alcohol, I'm talking about at that point in time, but an hour before, 2 hours before, not days before.
You have to
weeks
specify.
Okay.
So-
And this was at 6:40 in the morning,
Correct.
Did you smell any alcohol on her at that time?
I did not.
Okay. You would agree that she did tell you at some point that she had had alcohol the night before, correct?
No.
All right. So,
What?
This is now, what's today, May 3rd of 2024?
Correct.
And this happened back in January, on January 29th of 2022?
Correct.
You were interviewed by a Trooper Michael Proctor
Here we go.
on February 14th of 2022. Do you recall that?
I recall meeting with him, yes.
Your memory of what...
Here comes the
Karen
impeachment,
told you
folks.
about whether
This is
she had
still trial number
had
one.
anything to drink the night before would have been much better on February 14th of 2022 when you were talking to Trooper Michael Proctor than it would be today, correct?
Correct.
Because your memory
Notice how his voice immediately. Your memory would have been better when you were interviewed by the disgraced former Trooper Proctor in February 14th, 2022 than it is today, right? Correct. Like, it's amazing how his voice just went from correct to correct to correct. Like, he knows it's coming. He knows there's a punch in the face on its way, and he doesn't want it, but he's gonna get it. He has no choice. He's a witness in a murder trial.
Get better over time, correct?
Certain circumstances, sure.
With regard to whether Karen
Looks
had
so
indicated
guilty.
that she took any drugs, you told Trooper Proctor she said that she had not, correct?
Correct.
With regard to whether she had had alcohol the night before, you told Trooper Proctor on February 14th of 2022 she did consume alcohol last night, correct?
Objection, Your Honor.
But that's a
Told
fact.
Trooper Proctor on February 14th of 2022 that Karen had told you that she did consume alcohol the previous night, correct?
If that's in his notes,
Well, is your memory exhausted as to whether you told him that?
What?
I don't recall.
What?
If you
Oh
saw
my
his
God.
report with your statements in it, would that refresh your memory?
Sure.
Please read it silently to yourself and look up at me when you're done. Having
This schmuck.
reviewed that report, does that refresh your memory as to the fact that
Does that refresh your memory?
does that refresh your memory?
It does.
Okay. And so did you tell Trooper Proctor on February 14th that Karen Reed had told you on January 29th that she had consumed alcohol the night before that?
Sure. Yes.
Yes,
When you
there you
first-
go. See, finally, we get an answer from him. Like, this whole, like, what, 3-4 minute exchange between Yannetti and Becker could have taken 5 seconds. All he had to do was say yes to the first question. But he was dodgy. He was like, well, I mean, I don't know. And, like, you can't make me answer. Mr. Yannetti. What? No, you have locked testimony written in disgraced former Massachusetts State Police Trooper Michael Proctor's report. It literally says in the report, she did not consume anything today. She had some drinks last night. No, that's not my testimony here today. God, these people, do they really think? And he's gotten more skeletal, by the way, in 2025. Let me just say, they aged so poorly. They all look like hollow, deathly, tired, exhausted, not sleeping, not eating. Guilty conscience, folks. Guilty conscience. This is what happens when you wake up every morning and it's the first thing you think about your crimes against society, your crimes against Karen Reed. And every night before you go to bed, that's the last thing you think about are your crimes against society, your crimes against Karen Reed. 3 years. 3 years, almost 3.5 years of that. They thought they were just going to skate by, that Karen was just going to take a plea. It's all going to be behind them. No one is ever going to find out. And then Alan Jackson, David Yannetti, Robert Alessi, Liza Little enter the fray. And everybody's butt cheeks just clench. Uh-oh. We're in trouble. All right, 2025, let's go.
Observed Miss Reed, did you note whether or not there was anything unusual about her physical appearance, meaning anything on her?
She did. Yes.
Describe that for the jurors, please.
She had some blood around her mouth, her neck area.
At that point, were you concerned about, obviously you're concerned mainly about her safety and getting her safely to the hospital, correct?
That's correct.
Were you worried that that might be her blood?
Well, she had said that she had given CPR to her husband.
Okay, you jumped a question ahead. I was going to say, did she tell you that it was in fact not her blood?
She did, so that kind of, in a way, ruled it out.
Okay.
No injury for me.
And you didn't indicate, you didn't notice anything about her that looked like she was physically injured or physically in harm?
Yeah, I did not.
Okay. She indicated that she had given CPR, mouth-to-mouth attempts at mouth-to-mouth resuscitation to Mr. O'Keefe, correct?
She did.
And that would account for the blood on her face and in her hair and on her neck?
That's what she told me.
Okay. And based on your observations of her, you didn't have any reason to quarrel with that?
Correct.
Okay. You indicated that her tone was somewhat rapid and repetitive. Is that right?
It fluctuated, so at times it was, yes.
Have you ever, in your course of training, seen individuals who have gone through some sort of a traumatic event?
Frequently.
Frequently.
Everyone's different, though.
Understood. Obviously, everybody's got their own personalities and the way of dealing with those things, right?
Sure.
Have you been able to, through your training, assess whether, at least in your belief, your observations, if someone has gone through a relatively traumatic event, as opposed to just someone whistling down the sidewalk?
Yeah.
Okay. Did it appear at that time when you're interacting with Ms. Reed that she was showing the signs consistent of having gone through a trauma?
At the time, yes.
Okay, so hence the rapid speech, the repetitive speech, things of that nature.
Correct. For her. For the defendant, Some people don't have rapid.
You said that she was.
Wait, why is he fumbling? Like, what's the problem, bro? It's a simple question with a simple answer. Oh, you're lying. Oh, golly, I'm sorry. I completely forgot that fact.
Went from calmness to agitation. The agitation you accounted for being, I don't necessarily want to go to the hospital. I don't want to be sectioned, correct?
She felt like she didn't need to.
When Alan said the word agitation, the dude just shifted in his chair like, stop calling me out, dude. I'm not agitated. I'm not agitated. Stop calling me out, man. Anyway, what's your question? Huh? You got a question? Huh? What's your question, Alan? Huh? Dude, this kid.
It wasn't. She wasn't going to act on her comments about wanting to harm herself.
You called it, I think in a report, it's SI.
Correct.
That's obviously of great concern to you and your partners when you're assessing a patient, correct?
That's right.
You don't want to leave someone on their own if they're going to self-harm, correct?
That's correct.
You pretty quickly assessed, I'm guessing, Firefighter Becker, that she was not, in fact, in the position to self-harm, that I think you said that the statements that she originally made, if John dies, I don't want to live, were not necessarily at the level of actual suicidal ideation. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, at the time I believed her because of the information we got and what she went through.
At the time that you assessed her, even though she had made some comments about if John doesn't live, I don't want to live either, you did not elevate that to the level of her being suicidal at that moment.
So I couldn't rule it out, but
okay.
I didn't think it was a huge threat at the time.
Understood.
But
That's what I was trying to get at.
couldn't rule it out, so that's why we had to take her to the hospital.
Understood. I mean, you had a Section 12. You had to take her irrespective of what you ruled in or out, right?
Right.
Okay. Ms. Reed indicated that her last conversation she had with her husband was an argument, correct?
Correct.
You've previously testified about that statement in other particulars, right? Other hearings.
I have.
You're paraphrasing. You didn't write down what she said about her previous interactions with Mr. O'Keefe, and you didn't record those on a tape recorder, correct?
I wrote down in my report that she said she had an argument.
Right. You didn't write them down at the time. That was a bad question on my part. You weren't taking notes as she was speaking.
Yeah, could have been. I mean, it just kind of for every call we jot down notes on a notepad, just
okay.
so when we give the staff a report, we can read off it.
Do you have those notes?
I don't.
Okay. Do you think you took notes or no?
To be honest, I'm not sure. I could have been typing them on the computer. That's what we typed the report on.
Okay.
At the time.
Do you have an independent recollection of taking notes, either handwritten or on a computer, as you sit here right now?
I couldn't tell you if I did one or the other. Sometimes
okay.
I write on the computer, sometimes I don't.
Or you might not have written anything down, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So, in any event, you weren't taking down, even if you were taking notes, you weren't taking down verbatim quotes of what she was saying. You were paraphrasing the information that was coming to you, correct?
That's correct.
All right. You previously indicated in recounting what it was that Ms. Reed actually said to you was something along the lines of she was upset because of her last words to him being in anger.
Well, I probably phrased it a little wrongly, the last words. It was the last conversation.
Okay. That wasn't my question.
Sorry, I am allergic to bullshit. Oh my god, this guy's full of it.
Simple one. In a previous hearing, did you use the phrase "her last words to him"?
Yes, I did. I did.
And that was at a hearing where you're under oath, just like you are now, correct?
Correct.
That was a little closer in time than we are now. It was maybe a year ago, correct?
Correct.
Actually, my mistake. It was about 2.5 years ago. It was a grand jury, correct?
Grand jury before. Yes.
Okay. And the phrase that you used was, and I want to concentrate on that for just a quick second, Firefighter Becker.
Sure.
The phrase that you used at that time was that she said, quote, like her last words to him. She was upset about her, quote, last words to him. Is that right?
Yeah.
It's a fact.
Recounting the conversation that Ms. Reed indicated that she was upset about, you also indicated, in addition to using the phrase, her last words to him, you also said that it was earlier in the night, correct? They had an argument earlier in the night.
I don't recall.
If you don't mind, take a look at the top paragraph, very, very small print. Let me know when you've refreshed your recollection.
Anything that helps Karen, I don't recall. Anything that hurts Karen, oh yeah, that happened. Standard stuff.
Yes.
When you wrote the report, you had indicated that when she was describing the argument that you testified to on direct, it was about an argument that was, quote, earlier in the night.
Earlier in the night, correct.
Okay.
And by the way, folks, don't forget that we're going to continue this with the ARCA witness. We got Faller, and we have Jennifer McCabe coming up. So don't forget to subscribe, because you are going to want to see this.
And then you recounted that statement, that same statement in the grand jury later on as at least including, quote, her last words. Is that right?
Her last words.
You were talking about an argument that they had, and then she was upset, and you were paraphrasing her, and one of the things that you paraphrased was, in fact, your statement was she was upset that was like her last words to him, correct?
She said that.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. You monkey.
Were you also made aware, did she tell you that her last words to him were in voicemails? Did she say that?
She didn't give any details.
Did you ask her, what were your last words to him?
I did not.
Did she ever say whether or not she believed he ever received her last words to him?
There's no other details. There was no other details other than what she said.
Yeah, okay. 'Cause
but she
it
did.
doesn't help prosecute her. So no. That never happened. No. Only things that hurt her, counselor. I can only speak about things that attempt to convict her, not exonerate. I'm sorry. I'm not in the business of exonerating people. I'm in the business of convicting people on behalf of the Canton Mafia.
When she was having this conversation with you about her last words to him, she did actually take out her phone and show you a bunch of missed calls to him at the same time, didn't she?
She tried to, yes.
Okay. In your mind, did you put two and two together that what she was actually talking about were the missed calls and her being upset about her last words to him, being very angry on those missed calls, those voicemails? Did you put those two things together?
I did.
Okay.
No, because I don't have a brain.
Very briefly, you indicated that you were asked on redirect examination by Mr. Brennan whether earlier in the night could have been 12 or 12:15 a.m., correct?
That's what he.
This kid has developed a tic since the first trial. Do you guys see this? Go back in the video. Watch the first piece of his testimony. His face is kind of like now his eyebrow twitches. He's got the eye. He's got the lips. He's like Hector Salamanca in he's like a Hector Salamanca from Breaking Bad in training. I'm not kidding. 10 more years and he's going to look exactly like Hector Salamanca. By his own doing. You did this to yourself, kid.
Yes.
And earlier in the night could have been 6 o'clock p.m.
Early in the night. Yeah, correct.
Could have been 5 o'clock p.m.
Could have been.
Could have been 7 o'clock p.m.
Sure.
Okay. You were also asked whether or not Miss Reed actually specifically mentioned voicemails when she talked about those last words. And you said she didn't.
That I remember. Correct.
But she did show you her phone.
She tried to.
And she did show you a bunch of missed calls to John O'Keefe, correct?
I wasn't going to look through her phone. I don't know who she called.
Come on, dude. Come on. Get that. Oh, this guy's gonna need a lawyer. 1-844-774-HURT if you need a lawyer. But let me tell you, folks, good God, I can't with this guy. I can't. His ability to like maintain is gone. He used to at least be able to kind of, be all right, but now he's like, I'm locked in. I am locked in. I can't change my testimony. This is bad. This is really, really bad, Jennifer. How you expect me to do this? And Jennifer is like, you will do this. You will do this on direct orders. More things are coming out, folks. More things are coming out. I can't wait to do Jennifer McCabe. Oh my God. That and the ARCA witnesses actually, like I said, is in my queue. I already have the ARCA witnesses video paired for me to review, so I will be doing that shortly as soon as I'm done hitting the record button on this video. And in the meantime, folks, we're going to keep this going. I changed the structure a little bit. We're still at the 1-4-7 p.m., 1 p.m., 4 p.m., 7 p.m. Only now, because you guys are all watching the trial, at 1 o'clock, I decided I'm going to premiere a short instead rather than a long video, so you're not torn like, oh my God, I want to see Larry's stuff, but I also want to see the trial. And like, I noticed viewership is a little bit slower for obvious reasons. I'm not faulting you. This is my fault, not yours. I should have calculated better, and now I have. So the new structure starting today, and I believe yesterday actually, you're going to get a short at 1 p.m. You're going to get a brand new trial number 2 video at 4 p.m. And you're going to get an older trial number 1. When I say older, it's still freshly recorded in the past few days, but it is from last year's trial that I still have in tow. I think we just finished Guarino yesterday, so Guarino's done. I still have one more Lally McCabe video that I've been saving, and I will throw that at you when I'm ready because it's a doozy and a lot of fun. And then I have several Trooper Paul videos. You guys wanted him, so I'm giving them to you. That's probably going to premiere tonight at 7, Trooper Paul Part 1. And then tomorrow is going to be Part 2. And there are 3 more, I believe. There's either 4 or 5 Trooper Pauls for sure, because he's a long one. He's a long one. He was on cross-examination for at least an hour and a half. For sure. So there's a lot of stuff to unpack there. And then, of course, last but not least, criminal man, the Don himself. I'm saving him for last, folks. The Don of the Canton Mafia, Brian Albert. There's going to be 8 or 9 videos of him. So that's another week and a half that we're going to be premiering. And then I may do some of my trials. Maybe I will just do 2 videos after that. We'll see. I just have so much content, you guys, that I want to make sure that you see it before this trial is over. It's very important that you see it because it's all relevant. It's very important. It's going to give you insight into trial number 2, especially right before Brian Albert testifies. I think is going to be really, really good because I think Brian Albert is not going to come for another week or 2, which will give us time on my channel to premiere all of Trooper Paul, which, oh my God, I can't wait for you guys to hear Trooper Paul. I'm serious. It is so bad. It is the most unbelievable, dumbest expert I have ever seen in my entire life. And some of my experts like probably would look up to him as because they're all so bad, but they'll probably be looking up to him as like a god because he's so terrible. So terrible. I know it's a bad analogy, but just go with it. But yeah, with all that in mind, folks, I'm excited to hopefully make it to Canton for the trial. I do want to be there at least for a day or 2. So if I'm going to be afforded that opportunity, that would be awesome. If not, it's fine too. I have a very busy schedule. Some of you may already know this. I'm looking for a new attorney to join my team. Right now we have 1 associate, and I had one, and unfortunately I need to replace him. But that's okay. C'est la vie, as they say. Such is life. And that's why I am now Dwight Schrute in The Office. You guys remember that scene?
So effective immediately, I am promoting you from assistant to the regional manager to assistant regional manager.
So just like in The Office, I am my own assistant to the CEO. I am my own associate right now, and that's why I'm working very hard. I'm working overtime. It's hard to find time to record videos because I'm always running around from court to court, stuff that normally an associate would do, and it's difficult. But luckily, this is Derby week, so it's a little bit slower, so I was able to find some time. But yeah, if you know anybody looking for work who is an attorney, you have to be a licensed attorney in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, or if you're not licensed in the Commonwealth, but you may be licensed somewhere else and you're looking to move permanently, relocate to the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and you want to practice law here, I'd love to interview you. When I say interview you, don't be like, well, I'm thinking maybe kind of sort of like, no, if you either live in Kentucky or I don't do remote work, it has to be in person. I need you in the flesh, coming to work every day, going to court every day, driving around every day. It's very heavy. It's very complicated and difficult, but at the same time, I pay well, and it gets easier with time. Trust me. It's all criminal defense work. You won't be doing any personal injury for a while, maybe ever. So if you know anybody, holla at your boy, 502-931-6788 with interviews. Don't call me with requests. I ignore them, please. I know a lot of people have questions. A lot of people have this. Larry, have you thought of that? It's like the Johnny Depp trial all over again. I'm going to ignore you. I don't have the time to answer every little question that comes in. Now, in the comments to this video, which, by the way, you've already subscribed to, right? You subscribed to the channel? You commented on the video? You liked the video? Okay, good. Now, in the comments below, if you ask questions and it's really well liked, those I will answer. If there's like 100 likes on a question, I will usually answer those because it means like, oh, so people really want to know this. This is a very important question that a lot of people feel the same way. Like, I want the answer to this. And I will, on my downtime, sometimes I'll browse through and I'll see like, I'll go to an old video and I'll see, hey, what sort of questions do people have, you know? Those I respond to, absolutely. Because those I can do at my leisure. But when you try to catch me, you know, like, hey, Larry, I have a question for you. Sorry, not sorry, you're not going to get an answer to that. And yeah, with that in mind, folks, I appreciate you. I love you all. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you all learned something, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, everybody.